Alright, so there's three things on JP that I think need to be talked about before it gets a bit close to them actually coming out on global. And I don't know when they should come out, but my guess might be soon. So we're going to talk about these three main things. Not going to lie, mainly revolving around gear. And will people be happy? Will people be mad? You guys let me know down below if these things come in season 5 or 6, if it's going to be a good or bad thing. Now, the first thing, I'm going to head straight into it. The first thing is probably going to be, well, it is Gear Transcendence. Now, why do I say Gear Transcendence? The main reason is because of the fact that the amount of damage reduction we're about to start seeing is going to be ludicrous. Okay, we're going to have people stacking Charlotte, William, and then Asta defense. So Charlotte has 54% damage reduction. Then we got units like William who have the what's it called, 34 plus the 5%. So in total that's 39 plus 54. You're maxing out at 90% damage reduction because you can't get higher. And then even if you're maxing out at 90% damage reduction, you're doing even less because of the fact that defense is getting increased. They're having the damage reduced by the resistance, and even more things could be applied. And once you start adding all of this stuff, you are doing pebbles to the units, right? Asta, Charlotte, William, even lowering attack with Noel, stuff like that, right? It starts to really add up. And, well, I mean, there's one main way that you're going to be able to really counteract that by just increasing the amount of attack that people have. And how do you do that exactly? Well, you could see right now, I have 62k on this Fuego. And if we're looking at it, this Julius, who, I mean, has pretty good stats, right? 90% crit rate and damage, has only 35,000. And you're going to be like, well, how do you go from like 35, which is like a pretty decent Julius, right? With obviously the other stats are not as high, but like the main stat is very high, to 62k easily. And that is going to be through Gear Transcendence. So you're going to see these little petals are going to be what Gear Transcendence is. Now, it's going to do a couple of different things, but let's talk about how exactly you transcend gear in the first place. Now, how it's done is by having 10 gears of the same gear. You need to use 10 gears to dupe out one gear piece to the max petals, okay? So it goes, if we check it out one last time, it goes from 1 to get the first petal, 2 for the second petal, 3 for the third petal, and 4 for the fourth petal. So you can see for this one, to really dupe out the last one, I would need 4. And each one gives an extra amount of stats. And once you get the fourth petal, once you complete the whole thing, you get access to a fifth substat. And we could see from this one, we are able to stack, or where would I need to change this one. You can see here, you're able to basically stack multiple of the same substats here. We have crit rate 14% and crit rate 11%. And just to show, I guess, with we'll do this one. I don't know if we'll be able to. You are able to also re-roll these, and how you do it is you need, well, okay, first of all, you're able to re-roll it 3 times for free with, well, for free with 500,000 gold. Let me show with this, I guess. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Have I? So you're able, okay, no, let me try to find one. You are able to re-roll 3 times with 500,000 gold, and then after, to redo it, to re-roll the last substat that you get from the Transcendence, you need to get a dupe. You need an extra dupe. So it's going to take a lot of dupes, right? It's kind of insane, but it takes 10 dupes, and then if you don't get the good reroll, where you're going to need a lot more. Let's see if we could get a good one. I mean, I don't really want accuracy, so maybe they want to give me something good. And that is 1.5 million down the drain. And not even considering that, you also got to consider, it takes 1 million gold per Transcendence. So it's going to be rough. Whenever they do bring this, it is going to be very rough, just all things considered. But it is going to make it much different, the meta, right? Because you're going to make it so that even these units, like Charmy, with very low ult multiplier, is going to be able to one-tap in a lot of cases, right? And the main reason, okay, a lot of people are going to say, well, doesn't that mean defense is also going to increase? Well, you're not really usually putting too much defense on your DPSs, right? So your magic attack, or your attack, is going to scale much higher than the amount of defense you're increasing. So because of that fact, well, you're going to be doing a lot more damage. Plus, you're going to get an extra substat. So in general, unless you're like a tanky unit, your DPSs will be taking more, but doing much more. When is it coming? My guess is around season 5 or 6, because it came out in was it season 7 on JP, but we are going much quicker. And also because Charlotte's coming out in season 5, well, my guess is that because this damage reduction is going to make the meta super stale, they're going to bring it alongside Charlotte or a bit later. And I mean, people are going to have no choice but to be happy because it's like, well, now we're going to be able to go quicker. Besides the fact you're going to need a lot of gold. So I recommend starting to farm the XP stage because that's the main way you're able to get gold. Now, the second thing that people, I think people will be kind of annoyed about is if they do bring the, oh, okay, I'll take that, is if they do bring in these new gear sets. So there's 4 new gear sets, which I've talked about previously. I'm not really going to go into it too much, but these 4 gear sets, there's 3 there, and then, oh, never mind, I did not mean to click that. And then there's one that you could craft right here. Is it this one? No. Is it the 4th one? I clicked on the 5th one by accident. So there's also one that you could craft here, this one. And these 4, right, are going to be changing some stuff a bit. They're not going to be like insanely different. The main thing is obviously for sure the stats that matter the most in this, but some of these are going to be really good now and in the future. I feel I'm still trying to get some of these. It's quite annoying. So it's what, well, it's mainly that I need to get a attack version of this for Black Asta. But whatever, man. So these 4 pieces, they add 1 each, and the thing is, it's only an LR2, so I mean, it's very low rates. It's rough, right, to get these. So these, I'm gonna guess, might be coming out at a certain point. I don't know when exactly. This one's pretty good on the well. If I'm being honest, I do like it a lot on the well. I don't really remember this one, and this one is very good. It gives mobility every time you're hit, and defense every time you're hit, so it's gonna be pretty nice. So yeah, just maybe keep out for stamina. I would say it's rough because you would want to start farming now for gear transcendence, but it's like, well, what if they bring the new gear set soon and then you want the new gear sets, right? So it's rough, right? It is rough, but what sucks is that even if you want to farm early for gear transcendence, well, some people might not even have the gear space. It's so rough. It is really rough, right? I just find it very annoying that we don't really have any free gear space on global yet, and you have to buy wood crystals. Definitely really bad. I really do hate how we don't really know when everything's coming, because obviously they're not following the same schedule exactly as JP. So it's like, okay, well, a bunch of these things are going to be very inconvenient, but when exactly are they coming, right? Very unfortunate. And then the last thing, which would be a convenient thing, is, well, I guess these 2 things, but mainly this. I'm gonna guess they're not changing this, so I'm just not gonna mention it. But this, so obviously we have the shop on global where we're gonna do a side-by-side comparison. This is basically when you trade in your skill pages, when you like basically sell them. Well, you have the skill page salvage on global, and right now you can only get an SSR ticket once a month. And then obviously I would recommend also getting these. The R to SSR ones are pretty good. I mean, you could guarantee yourself, well, not guarantee, but over time you might get an SSR skill page from that. Now on JP, it's a lot better, where every month you're not going to get it every time, but you're able to get 2 universal SSR skill pages, and then also a season 1 to season 6 skill page selector. So is this going to come in season 5, season 6? Is it even going to come at all? We don't know, but I would definitely say it's something that you might want to consider for the future, and maybe not use all of these, right? Now the blues, I would say maybe just start stocking up on. Probably the best way. Just salvage all your skill pages when you can. But this is a very good feature that I talked about in my previous video too, that I think is very important to mention. How every month you're able to get so much stuff, and I think it's very important that people know this, right? This is a very huge feature. And I don't know if it's going to come. That's the worst part. I don't know if it's going to come. But if it is, it's definitely something to kind of consider, because I'm just able to stock up on so many more skill page dupes now because of it. So we're going to really have to hope that they do end up doing, well, that feature in the future. People would be very happy. I just like, it would allow people to be less stressed, be able to get more stuff. People would be happy. I think this would be just a W update, because it also, like, you need to spend a lot. Like 300 of these is very hard to get. Very hard. Because 300 on average of those like SR and above shards. Let's see. So an SR gives 1 to 3. It could literally, we're going to like average it out to taking about like 150 SR skill pages to get one. Now, obviously it's every month. So like you will be able to get it. I'm going to say you'd be able to buy 1 or 2 universal skill pages every 2 months, which like is pretty good, right? It is pretty good. It's just, it's still it's a lot, but I mean, for people who are summoning, especially even for whales is a bonus, free to play. No one's really losing out, right? No one's losing out. So I would say it is pretty important that people kind of save a bit, at least the dark blue ones, but also the like green and blue ones is not a bad idea. Obviously, getting these sometimes is not bad, especially if you want to, like, if you're missing Sally's, or you're missing Williams, right? Or you're missing, I don't know what, like the HP one, I guess. But for sure, I would say it's not a bad idea to save it at all, right? At all. There's not really any disadvantages. So yeah, those are like three things that hopefully they come, but we would need to know when. I feel like for the first thing, obviously, it's just you're gonna end up, we're gonna need it soon. I'm genuinely like, the first one might be very inconvenient for some people, but it's also something that is very much needed. You're gonna see, right? It gets rough. It gets really rough. So that's basically the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.